After a short break from AOT content, I decided that to prepare myself for Attack on Titan's final season, I would do a short series covering all of the manga chapters that I haven't yet. The goal for this series is to simply revisit, relive, and reread a classic manga series to refresh myself on AOT. We're all familiar with how Attack on Titan starts, the tried and true classic opening, birds in a cage, colossal Titan photoshops, that gif of him flipping the bird. I mean, we've all seen that, right? It's insane how much this imagery of this massive Titan peeking its head out over the walls has become such iconic imagery, and just in general, art. I remember when I first read Attack on Titan in like 2014 or whenever it was something I couldn't get out of my head. And it's one of the main reasons I probably continued to watch and read it. There was just something so horrifying, yet at the same time, awe-inspiring that I just knew immediately this was the series that I wanted to watch over all of the others. I think the anime took this one step further. I mean, that season 1 poster, whoa boy, that giving me the vapors. Though besides that, being so used to Isayama's later art in the manga now, going back, the very first thing I noticed was that the art was rough. Now, don't get me wrong, he's way better than me. I can draw stick figures and that's about it. Maybe a banana if I tried my bestest, or a boob or two at my peak. Isayama just wasn't as experienced as he is now, and in my opinion, AOT's art in the latter half of its run was just absolutely perfect. Though, I think it goes to show how strong and compelling Isayama's writing was in AOT that with the early chapters, it didn't matter if the art was good or bad. The people still decided that this was worth reading and became a hit off the back of its writing and extremely compelling characters. Also, it's important to note here, the first chapter of Attack on Titan is titled To You, 2,000 years from now. So keep this in mind as we go along in the series. Talking about these characters for a bit, Volume 1 has the introduction to a fan favorite, and one of my personal favorites, the beating heart of Attack on Titan, Sasha, aka Potato Girl. Without a doubt, the goofiest character in AOT, and rightfully so, Sasha brings the heart to AOT and lightens things up in this oh-so-dark world. Even in her own world, when things get incredibly dark, she tries to make the most positive out of the situation that she can. An example of this is in Chapter 7, when everyone's hopes are dashed, when Eren is dead, and seemingly dead, and the Titans have broken in, she's still trying to fire everybody back up, thinking that as long as they remain positive, they'll be able to make it. I remember everyone back in the day falling in love with her, and I mean, how could you not? It's Sasha. She's the kind of girl everyone would ideally want. She eats a lot, makes you laugh, and on top of that, she's a badass, highly trained Titan killer. I don't know about you guys, but that ticks my boxes. But I do guess if we're gonna be talking about crushes, I had a major one on Mikasa in those early years. Like, seriously, it was bad, guys. But thankfully, I have never recovered from it, because if you think for a single second, I don't regret that shit. It's interesting looking back at her character, as while it's largely remained the same in the sense that she's a dirty Eren simp, Mikasa throughout the years undergoes so many changes in different aspects of her personality that by the end, she seems the same while at the same time so much different and more mature. Hannes' character is another I want to mention because he is among the most compelling in the early series. The way he is so sure nothing bad will happen, it gets drunk while on the job, makes him seem like he's incredibly incompetent because, well, he is. He's the definition of a guy who's gotten much too comfortable on the job. Then, when push comes to shove and he has to do his job, he cowers in fear of the Smiling Titan when the same day he was telling Eren how they're living in a time of peace and that they all should relax. Funnily enough, it wasn't until very recently, when I came back to AOT in 2020, did I ever notice the brilliance of Hannes. So today, I give you your flowers, Mr. Hannes, though I still won't forgive you for letting Carla die like that. Getting into the next volume is where a lot of themes started to build up. Amongst many of them, I think the most notable ones is Franz dying while his girlfriend tries to bring him back to life. This, of course, is the theme that true love always dies in Attack on Titan. Really, that it outright punishes those who choose to have a love for anybody. So far, this is the second casualty of this dark law in AOT, the first being Carla dying. sad face. If you're new here to AOT, don't worry, you'll get used to stuff like this. Love is just another casualty in this cycle of war. Another cool scene is the thematically brilliant scene of the merchant as a kind of bourgeoisie blocking the way for innocent women and children. This man cares about nothing but what he can profit off of, which is his merchandise. So he willingly puts the lives of everyone else in danger just so that he can gain and profit in his life. Then Mikasa saves the day. She confronts the man as he tells her to dedicate your hearts, a very important phrase. And that one word from him and a grunt like her will have it. Mikasa, the G, she threatens to kill him, and he stands down. It's a small scene, but it not only shows the cowardice and the corrupt nature of some people within the inner walls, but as well, Mikasa's will to do the right thing. This is when we get into Mikasa's backstory and our first notable change and subsequent retcon in later seasons for the anime. Mikasa has the Ackerman crest on her arm. In the anime, it's instead a piece of embroidery. Why they changed that? No idea really, but in the final seasons, it's changed back to the crest being on her arm, but I'm digressing somewhat. We learned that Mikasa's parents were killed and she was kidnapped. Grisha with Eren was supposed to be there earlier to check up on them, but when they arrived, it was too late. Eren is able though to track her down and save her, but not before Eren is caught and being choked. Eren tells Mikasa that she has to, and the key word here, fight, because if they don't fight, they won't win. In hindsight, this is such a great scene as it's yet another theme that's carried throughout the entire series. I also remember being very confused about this scene when I first read it because Eren randomly becomes this trained killer and takes out a bunch of dudes. Compare that to Mikasa, who blindly runs at her enemy, and Eren, who even fashioned a bayonet. So I love how this series takes into account things that happen in this season and go full circle with them later on. As well for Mikasa, who at that moment, once given the command by Eren, felt that she knew how to control herself and fight. That, my friends, right there is some good writing. So with Eren seemingly dead, Mikasa makes a stand. She's strong, much stronger than all of her cowardly comrades, and keep this in mind as well as we go throughout the series. So she's going to fight. Keyword there, which gets everyone else fired back up and Mikasa goes to do her thing, but she's expending too much gas. Running out of gas, she is stranded with two Titans coming. The attack Titan that Eren is in control of comes to destroy the Titan, fueled only by the hatred for Titans and the hope for mankind. This is a great scene. It was the perfect way to introduce the Attack Titan and solidify the connection between the two most important figures in Attack on Titan, Eren Yeager, and Mikasa Ackerman. I could cry. This next chapter is actually our first glimpse at how important Armin is as a tactician. This is a brilliant character thread that continues right up really until the end of the series. Armin may not be there when it comes to physical prowess and fighting capabilities, and he's kind of cute if you're into femboys, but his mind makes up for all of the traits that aren't as strong. For sure, without Armin, a lot of your characters would die, and the story absolutely would be entirely different. Hell, Eren probably wouldn't even be alive without Armin in some situations. And their plan, well, was to essentially just take out some of the Titans and use Eren to take out the rest, and it worked perfectly. We get to see more in Chapter 9 of Armin's brilliance when he comes up with the plan to use buckshot to blind the Titans in the barracks and have secretly hidden Survey Corps members in the rafters come down in a timed attack to kill the blinded Titans. Well, it works, but sadly, Sasha misses her shot on the Titan and has to be saved by Mikasa. Best part is not only when Sasha apologizes to the Titan for trying to stab it in the back, but as well when she collapses to her knees crying, thanking Mikasa for saving her. This gets even better. Realizing what she did yielding to a Titan, she gets extremely embarrassed and feels ashamed for herself and what she did, feeling like she can't look anyone in the eyes anymore. I mean, this stuff is just quintessential Sasha, and I'm here for it. Then, the big reveal that absolutely nobody saw coming because it wasn't obvious at all. Eren Yeager pops out of the Titan to reveal, yes, he is a Titan boy. This prompts Mikasa in a fantastic set of panels to clutch onto Eren like a weeb to a, ironically, Mikasa body pillow. And you can't hide that baby back bullshit from Papa Tactics. I know what you got. I love the pure emotion of these panels as Mikasa whales. I mean, as a person who has lost people close to me, if I saw them pop out randomly out of a Titan from out of nowhere, I probably would do this. Yeah, it felt completely natural and authentic, which is what I love about it, and it shows how much as not just a love interest, but a family member, hell, just a person, what Eren means to Mikasa. This is what we call Mikasa's cute side. It's quintessential Mikasa, and I'm here for it. Next week, we'll be covering AOT chapters 19 to 34. But until then, I did a video on my favorite moments from Attack on Titan that I think you guys will enjoy or maybe have missed.